Hello, hello. What is up, gamers? What is good? We got a new chapter of One Piece 1159, The Island of Fate. This, of course, referring to God Valley, where we have a laundry list of events that we know must happen to check off in probably the next few chapters. Plus, the potential for a whole lot of surprising things. We may now get a backdoor flashback into Shanks, or perhaps Shanks's mom or parents or whatever. We know that like something pretty elaborate has to happen there because her his mom named them their names, but then they ended up with pirates and the world government, respectfully. So there must have been some sort of interaction. There must have been some life lived up until now. It's not just a randomly tossed into a treasure chest as a baby. Otherwise, how I guess they could like write Shanks on the baby's chest or something. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like there's gonna be something there, and the way that they showed Shanks's mom from behind, we didn't get like the proper introduction. Usually such a character would be kind of positioned with like a half-page panel spanning depiction, even though they like make reference to her wise character and stuff. So I think something more is going to happen there. We're going to get another black backdoor flashback. But we already do know that stuff goes down with Kuma and Ivakanov. We know stuff goes down between Big Mom and Kaido, that this is where Kaido got the dragon fruit. We know that the Rocks pirates fight against Garp and Roger and are ultimately defeated. This is where the downfall of the Rocks pirates happens. So these are going to be pretty exciting chapters, and what's crazy is that those might not even be like the exciting parts of those chapters. That's just like other stuff that we know must happen around now. So let's plunge into it. We got Yamato on the cover story, having some apples, heading back home, having gained some comrades. Not really sure what's left for him to do. I haven't really been keeping track of which provinces are yet to visit. But I think he must be getting like pretty close, right? Like I think this arc has been going on for quite a while now. 41 volumes. I mean, Wano is huge, so maybe there's still more to see. I feel like if this arc ends up having any sort of like major ramifications besides maybe this new Yamato crew heading out to sea and eventually encountering our guys, it may be that he ultimately goes to that spot that Robin visited with the former shogun, or the former emperor, sorry, where they talked about Pluton sleeping under Wano. I could see that coming up again, and suddenly this cover story having some relevance in that whole kind of like lore implication. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. So we continue looking at Fullalad. Shaki's been kidnapped. Oh shit. Okay. So I kept talking about like this whole Shaki love triangle thing. Where is it going ultimately? It wasn't clear to me how much plot import it was actually going to end up having. But this is definitely like the instigating moment. Without any clues to solve the mystery, the pilots could only wail and gnash their teeth in anger. So this leads probably because here we see Roger blaming Rocks. Because before it's like they had beef, but it was unclear if they actually really wanted to fight each other. Like I don't think they really saw themselves as being, blocked or prevented from doing whatever they wanted to do by the other. They were both just living freely on the seas, having adventures, living selfishly. So this, though, is actually something that, if they blame each other for it, could easily lead to this gigantic conflict that we know is coming. We see even Raleigh looking very perturbed, even though he was blowing her off just last chapter. All economic activity around the world went stagnant for weeks. Jesus. Wow, wow. Shaki really was the world's empress. The idol of all the seas. Okay, so Garling is indeed their father, as people suspected. So he is involved in their lives right from the jump, which explains how Shamrock at least ends up still with the world government after this all plays out. If they're living anywhere, it won't be here. This island will cease to exist soon. Already ordered a wife who's befitting of me. All I have to do is make her mine and win this competition. Oh, man. What a piece of shit. What the... How did he manage to rizz up this so-called wise lady in the first place? Jesus Christ. What a fucking scumbag. I thought at least there would be some, like, pretense here that he would, like, trick her later. But I think this is what we're kind of seeing from, like, the upper echelon of the world government. The lower echelon, you know, is, like, scummy in kind of a deceptive way. The corrupt people within the Marines, the people that were playing double agent and working with Doflamingo and stuff. There's like deception and trickery and, you know, kidnapping Kami and stuff. It was all kind of like a little duplicitous. Whereas the tier of like the Holy Knights, all of them are just like arrogantly, transparently cruel and unjust. There's no need. I think they would think it insulting to even consider lying to these lower classes, trying to trick these lower classes as if that was necessary. And poor little twins. They look so cute. Oh my god. Okay, never mind. It's not the Shanks' mom flashback at all. Huh. I maybe could have read that because Oda likes to kind of keep characters shown from behind or silhouetted or whatever when there's going to be a more dramatic reveal later and you figure out like who they are, like with Rocks, or it's a character in a flashback who just like dies. Usually like the parents of the character having a flashback. We've seen this pattern a few times too. They die just like this. And I think that's because Oda he wants to make it like impactful, and he wants to like reinforce the fact that Garland of course is like a major piece of shit, but he doesn't really want to bring like the tempo or the mood down by like actually introducing this person as a character, thereby like necessitating kind of like seeing her die more. She just sort of gets stabbed here quickly in silhouette. So I don't know, maybe I could have anticipated that. I parsed it in the wrong direction, but R.I.P. Shanks' mom. Okay, so the hunt begins. It's training. No position to ask questions. This is horrid. Stop thinking. Individual thoughts will only distract from the will of the group. Focus on completing the mission. So I like that they're spending a little time showing this distrust and the fact that the Marines themselves are kind of confused and this is abnormal. And you know, I think this series is good for like kind of putting some humanity even in these like grunt characters. Oops. And oh my god, dude, it's Dragon.
Right?
Whoa, it's young Dragon. Holy. Damn. You know, I was like, is this guy meant to look familiar? Because he's given some attention and stuff. And then for a second I was like, is that Garp? But no, we've already seen Garp in this flashback. That's not what he looks like right now. But it is Garp's son. Holy cow. And then, of course, we know that Kuma and Ivakanov are on this island. They're, of course, other future Revolutionary Army commanders. Okay, yeah. Here's the slave ship with Ginny and Ivakanov captured. All going to die. If you don't try to learn where the ship is going and don't even struggle to survive, what makes you think you'll be lucky enough to make it out? Don't play games with miracles. And there's young Kuma, of course. Bro, it's young Morgans! That's even more exciting than young Dragon. My guy Morgans. Okay. Either way, okay. So like, he's not currently the president of the World Economic Journal. I think right now he's just some young upstart. They call him some kid's local paper with a fancy name. Oh, so yeah. He called himself the World Economic Journal back then, even though he was just some little brat that manages to sneak all this info out. Always been a rebellious one. Of course, we know right now he's helping out Vivi, smuggling Vivi out of harm's way, allowing the world to think that she's dead. Oh my god. Oh, this is who he got as the prize, as his suitable wife, of course, is Shaki. Shaki is at God's Valley. It was really the world government's fault, but Roger and Rox might blame each other. Oh wait, no. They figure it out here. She's a prize in the Celestial Dragon's game. Foo. I thought that was a tall tale. Okay. Big Mom at this point already having kids. I think they did show some of her little brats running around in some previous crowd shot or whatever. Okay, yeah, the dragon fruit that Kaido ultimately receives, he gets from God Valley. If you're not committed, stay here. The rest of us are going to God Valley. Okay. Alright, okay. They'd head out, of course, as well. Raleigh also pumped. Just took the tiniest bit of classified intel to set off all the fiercest warriors of the sea. Garp, of course, the eternal rival of Roger, setting out as well. Whoa. That's the Rox's ship? Oh, wait, no. The Rox is the smaller ship. This is... Oh my god, dude. This is Harold's latest assignment. This is the first time I think we've seen, like, the flagship of the giant pirates. Normally they're just riding around in those, like, kind of dinky little ships that are barely bigger than them, which is always such a funny image. But it makes sense that they have this, like, longhouse type ship. You can see they've got a big cabin on it. Even Harold, who's, like, 3 times the size of a normal giant, is still reasonably sized on this. We've got government monitors. This is winning you points with the world government. Don't underestimate what we can do, King of the Giant Oafs. Now can we talk in private? Okay, so this showdown may get averted. I don't know. Sure you've heard where we're going and why. Well, I'm going to tell you this next part to you. It's not even for my own crew to hear. I've got a hidden name. Davy D. Zebek. Ha. The legendary pirate Davy G. Jones. Damn. Ho. Okay. So, we saw him name drop this once before, talking to Emu. Saying it pointedly as if Emu would know. And at the time I speculated that Davy Jones was a counterpart to, like, Nika. That Nika was the sun god, and Davy Jones was, like, the god of the sea. Now I think it's more a counterpart to Joy Boy. The Joy Boy was, like, the first incarnation of Nika as a pirate. And Davy Jones is the first reincarnation of this sea god TBD or something like that. Okay. So why is he saying this? There's something at God Valley related to this ancient clan, related to this destiny. My timing was either great or terrible. You see, 2 years ago I had a kid. And to make sure that danger wouldn't befall them both, I sent my wife and child to my homeland and told them to seek the Davy clan for help. My home is God Valley. Did this as a means to lure you into their clutches. They weren't even aware. Okay. Truly a secret name. But this... I kind of like this because this whole idea of, like, this like ancient bitter rivalry among this golden era of piracy where, you know, the legends of the current generation were alive and breathing and fighting one another. This sort of like ongoing revelation of like a lot of it was due to just like a love triangle and Shaki being like unfathomably hot. It's like funny, and I do appreciate that Oda is always trying to kind of like do the Aura Farm undercut and give some like goofiness to his characters and stuff. But it was getting maybe a bit much, and the idea that like this God Valley confrontation, which, you know, is one of the most significant events in this entire era of history and has earth-shattering consequences quite literally, that all of that was motivated by unrequited love, by lusting over Shaki. That seems a bit much. So I like that, especially that Rox is getting this sort of like additional motivation. He really is like the protagonist of this flashback still, even though he's like the villain kind of. I definitely think we're supposed to be kind of rooting for him here. And the fact that he's going back to like save his family, even though we know that his son is that piece of shit Blackbeard, and Garp and Roger, who are generally considered much more heroic characters, you know, Luffy being in the lineage of Roger and the grandson of Garp, are kind of now like preventing Rox from saving his family. It's interesting, right? Like it's throwing this whole thing into ambiguity where everybody's kind of coming at it with their own virtues and their own motivations, and the world government is obviously like the bad guys here. But everybody is like beefing with everybody, and not all of those beefs are well founded. Perhaps, or perhaps everybody on both sides has good motivations for some of them. I don't know. It's quite interesting. Some great active fate is pulling behind all of the strings behind the scenes. Kidnapping Shaggy was their fatal mistake. As long as my wife and kid escape, I don't care about the rest. Yes. That, of course, is kind of like the abhorrent aspect of Rox that still makes him quite villainous. That callousness to all of the other people that are going to get hunted. Whoever's fortune is on, Herald, it doesn't feel like mine, so lend me your aid. Don't attack him. Okay, so Herald sacrifices his own ship. He lets Rox go, but he doesn't help him either. The Celestial Dragons choose an island rich in resources, unaffiliated with the government, carry out a manhunt game there, slaughtering all the natives. The rare and exotic devil fruits, we have our grand prize, Shaki. Yeah. Wearing the Empress robes, which she wasn't wearing when she was a bartender, so that's kind of sick. They're like fetishizing the fact that she's from the Kuja. And then, of course, all the scumbag sub-Holy Knight Celestial Dragons, whom we'd love to see get punched. And there's Sommers, that piece of shit. We're gonna get to see him do even more heinous stuff, and see the results of that later. With you here, Gunko, we might win a trophy in the family competition. Who the heck is that? But Gunko seemed like, okay, what the fuck's going on? Because Gunko was a kid and met Brooke, and then seems to have been like brainwashed or something. But if she was a kid when she met Brooke, when Brooke was still alive, it's tough to do all this timeline math, but I'm pretty sure it wouldn't make sense for her to be like a full adult working as a holy knight already. Notably, she still has like the face covering. I've talked a bunch about how Gunko must have some other sympathetic side, because Oda loves it when a character has a big change of heart, a big heel face turn. They remove some sort of covering over their face. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. The sticking out the tongue feels familiar. I feel like there's something to glean here. There's something that this is pointing to. But I feel like there might be some sort of like Gunko possession clone thing going on or something. I don't know. Okay, and there is, of course, baby Blackbeard. We knew that Blackbeard had the horrible upbringing that was revealed in an SBS once. Very profound, haunting thing. We know that he ends up with Whitebeard's crew at some point after this. Every world noble is aware of them. In addition to the Buccaneer boy serving as an ultra rare rabbit in this contest, which of course is Kuma that they're bringing in over on the ship to be another target. We have another target who's been found at long last over 800 years, going all the way back to the Void Century, the Davy clan. And that, of course, is Blackbeard. Huh. Fucking crazy chapter, man. So we see Dragon encountering baby Blackbeard. There's Blackbeard's mom. Is Blackbeard's mom also Shanks's mom? Let's zoom in. I don't know, she has like reddish hair and it seems like she's been stabbed in the belly. Oh, wait. This is two different scenes. What am I talking about? This is two different scenes. Dragon encounters Shanks's mom. That makes sense. And then meanwhile, Blackbeard's mom and Blackbeard are already captured, about to be released as prizes in the hunt. Okay, so this is it. This is the God Valley incident that much has been discussed. We kind of know how this is going. We kind of know all the stuff that's going to happen because we know where these characters end up. But there's still a lot of mysteries, a lot of surprises, and so much potential for just like lore, you know? Like we could on any page suddenly learn something about what the deal is with the Davy clan. We could learn more about what the deal is with the Buccaneers. We could learn more about what the deal is with frickin' Gunko. All right. Let's look forward to the next chapter. Good one. Pretty crazy. And now it's time to watch football. Goodbye.